Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurube Namah. Shuklam Brahma Vichara Sara Parama Adyam Jagat Vyapinim Veena Pustakadharini Abhayadam Jadyandakarapaham Aste Sfatika Malika Bidadati Padmasane Samstitam Bande Tam Parameswarim Bhagavatim Buddhi Pradam Saradam Nachorya Haryam Nacharaja Nabhatri Bhajyam Nachabharakari Yare Krite Bardhataiva Nityam Vidyadhanam Sarvadhanam Pradhanam Vidyadhanam Sarvadhanam Pradhanam. Namaskar. Grade 10. Everybody sit down. So, what a lovely time right now, right? It means it's, what's the time? 3:38. Means we are having the evening classes. In ANUPAM, we have got 3 different sessions. Morning session, then afternoon session and evening session, right? We begin from 6 o'clock and we end at 5:30. Yes? And we have got system of presentation. Right now, we are going to do oral presentation, and after some time there will be PowerPoint presentation. So they have to bring the PowerPoint themselves. So it will be displayed in the whiteboard and they have to explain. Understood or not? Because practice makes man perfect. If we practice, then we will be perfect. We will be more smarter one. Very soon we are going to select the smart students of Baishakh 2080. So I don't know who meets those criteria. They will be selected as smart students. So smart students must do smart works. So first chapter is scientific learning, and the content of scientific learning is divided upon 11 students. Very few terms are task is given, and they will just come and they will explain. They should try to explain without looking at the books. They can write here, no problem. They can write, they can just use this whiteboard. The whiteboard of ANUPAM VIDYASADAN is very big. You can notice over here, right? In some schools, whiteboard is nearly half to this whiteboard. So see, we are quite bigger one. And the room also very well equipped. So we have got carpeting system, fan, and shoe racks are kept separately. And this do not smell, dirty smell of the socks, which is one for whole week. And they don't feel quite tight also, because they will get chance to sit here with very comfortable position. So without wasting time, let me request all the PowerPoint presenters, if you have, otherwise presenters, to be ready. They know their turn, so they will come here turn by turn and explain. And rest of others, please remember the things, and at last there may be discussion session. Understood? Okay, so who is first one? First presenter is Prishita Shrestha.
Namaskar and good evening. Namaskar and good evening to you all. My name is Prishita from grade 10, roll number 3 from the SC batch of 2080. Today I am here to present on the chapter of scientific study on the subject of variable and their importance. So I would like to start it. Any quantity that varies during the span of an experiment is known as variables. A variable is any factor, trait, or condition that can exist in differing amounts or types. In other words, a variable is a measuring quantity, factor, or condition that can be controlled or changed during an experiment. Variables are of three types. They are independent variable, dependent variable, and control variable. Thank you.
Namaskar and good morning to you all. Namaskar and good evening to you all. It's me Vishnu from grade 10 standing here to explain about independent variable. And independent variable is the called manipulated variable, and independent variable in the factor or condition that you can change in a experiment are sometimes called experiment variables or predictor variables. Thank you.
Whether it is on or off. Otherwise, full time pause, then no.
Where keeping? Namaskar and good afternoon to you all. It's me Badaluka standing in front of you to deliver to define a definition like independent variable. Independent variable is also called a responding variables. Or dependent variable is the factor or condition that you measure or observe in an experiment. We can also say that any variables that is of interest to the research and can be measured for an effect is called dependent variable. Dependent variables sometimes calls outcome variables. For example, in the experiment of block and tackle system of police, and the dependent variable is the weight or load being lifted by the block and tackle police system. This is the output or dependent variable that responds to the change in the dependent variables. Thank you.
Namaskar and very warm good evening to you all. Good afternoon to you all. It's me Lakshmi Shah from grade 10 from the 2080 batch of ANUPAM 23rd. I'd like to start my topic, control variable. The variable other than dependent and independent variable have to be reminded unchanged for control by the researchers. If they are not controlled, the correct result cannot be obtained. Control variables are the variables that our researchers tries to hold constant throughout the experiment. A control variable is the variable that kept is constant throughout the experiment to ensure that any change in the dependent variable are due to the change in the dependent variables. Thank you so much.
Namaskar and good evening to you all. It's me Aryan sister from grade 10, roll number 1 from batch 2080. In front of you to present some information about importance of variable in scientific study. Variable can be defined as any factor that changes or be changed in an experiment or observation. There are three types of variable: independent variable, dependent variable, and control variable. There are many types of importance of variable in scientific study. Some of them are listed below. Variable helps to control unnecessary or minor factor that influence the outcome of experiment. Number 2, variable help researchers to make accurate observation by providing a way to qualify and measure the phenomena and under investigation. Point number 3, variable helps scientists to design experiment that can test their hypothesis by manipulating or controlling specific factor that may affect the outcome. And point number 4, by manipulating or controlling variable, researcher can establish cause and effect relationship. This is important because it allows scientists to make valid conclusion about the effect of variables on the outcome of an experiment or observation. Thank you. David.
Now my turn. This book here. Put here. Okay, thank you. Nothing happened. Shall I start, sir? Good morning and namaste. It's me, David from grade 10, 2018 S batch, 23rd batch of ANUPAM VIDYASADAN. Today I am here to explain about aspects to pay attention regarding variables in scientific study. First point, an experiment or scientific research should have one independent variable and one dependent variable. Variables other than the selected independent and dependent variables must be controlled. Third point, an independent variable is the cause at its independent on other variables in scientific study. Fourth point, a dependent variable is the effect and its value depends on change in the independent variable. Fifth point, when showing the relationship between the dependent variable on a graph, the dependent variable is always placed on the y-axis, also called vertical or y variable, and the independent variable on the x-axis, also called horizontal or x variable. Sixth point, generally while showing the relationship between variable in mathematical equation, the dependent variable is written on the left hand side of the equation. Sometimes a dependent variable is also right hand side variable and an independent variable is called left hand side variable. Thank you.
Namaskar and very warm good evening to you all. As you all know, it's me Asa from grade 10. I'm here standing in front of you to present. My topic is fundamental units and derived units. Measurement, the process of comparison of an unknown quantities with a known standard quantities is called measurement. For example, 1 kg sugar is weighed with the help of our standard mass of 1 kg. Fundamental units, those physical quantities which can neither be derived from nor be further resolved into other simpler quantities are called fundamental quantities. Length, mass, time, electric current, temperature, luminance, essentially of light, and amount of substance are the example of fundamental quantities. Derived quantities, those physical quantities which depend on two or more fundamental quantities on power of a fundamental quantities are called derived quantities. For example, volume, pressure, force, speed, acceleration, etc. Thank you.
Why are you doing the other way?
like this, okay. Namaskar and good afternoon. Namaskar. Namaskar and good evening to you all. It's me ANUPAM over to standing my presentation. Today's my topic is fundamental units of physical quantities consists of magnitude and unit that can be measured directly or indirectly. Derived unit, the units of derived quantities are called derived units. Measurement, the process of comparison of an unknown quantity is called measurement. Thank you. Yes, take.
Namaskar and very warm evening to you all. It's me, Rosnisa, standing in front of you to present my presentation. Now I like to present my presentation, some derived unit and their relation with fundamental units. The derived unit of the quantity area is m square and fundamental unit involved in is m into m and its formula is L into B. The derived unit of quantity volume is m cube and is fundamental unit involved is m into m and its formula is L into B into H. The derived unit of quantity velocity is m square ms minus n minus 1 and fundamental unit involved is ms and its formula is s by t. Likewise, I want to describe difference between fundamental unit and derived unit. Fundamental unit, this is the unit of fundamental quantity, this is the unit of derived quantity. This unit is independent of other units. This unit is obtained from fundamental units. Thank you.
Namaskar and good evening to you all. As you all know me, it's me Susma Lama from grade 10, standing in front of you to explain about analysis of dimension wise equation for knowledge. Dimension of a physical quantity can be said as the power to which the fundamental units must be raised to obtain 1 unit of that quantity. The dimension of mass, length, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity and amount of substance are according denoted by MLT, KICD and MOL respectively. Example 1, density. Density is equals to mass by volume. M by L cube is equals to ML minus cube. Example 2, B square is equals to U square plus 2AS. LT minus 1 whole square is equals to LT minus 1 whole square plus LT minus 2 L1 L square T minus square is equals to L square T minus square plus 2 L square T minus 2. Importance of dimension equation is below. 1. To derive the relation between various physical quantities. 2. To change from one system of units to another unit of of physical quantity can be determined to find the dimension of constant in a given relation. One form of unit can be converted into another form of unit. Thank you.
It is done. Now what we will do? Basically, time is getting in my video, and there are about 8 minutes are there. In 8 minutes, what do you do? So I am here to discuss the question answer. So at first, I will begin from. So I am here to discuss question answer of exercise from.
Hello everyone, I am Aaron Shrestha from grade 10. Now I would like to say, now I would like to give some question and answer of the chapter scientific studies. Number 1 from multiple choice question. In an experiment, a researcher needs to study the interrelationship between the rate of photosynthesis and amount of sunlight. Which statement is true or false? The correct answer is amount of sunlight is the independent variable and the rate of photosynthesis is dependent variable. Next, B number. Which of the following steps require 5 sense organs to detect in scientific learning? The answer is drawing a conclusion. C number. What is the last very significant step in a scientific method that allows other researchers to test the hypothesis? The answer is again drawing a conclusion. D number. What is called the rate of doing work? The correct answer is power. E number. Which one of the following is a derived unit? The answer is hertz. And which of the dimension is correct for power? ml is L to the power 2, T to the power minus 2. Now I would like to discuss about difference between for A number, independent variable and dependent variable. Independent variable. It can be manipulated by the researcher. Dependent variable. It can be measured by the researcher. Again, independent variable. It can be changed, and dependent variable, it is changing in response. Independent variable, for example, temperature, wearing sports shoes, etc. And dependent variable, plant growth, speed walking, etc. Number B, fundamental unit and derived unit. Fundamental unit. This is the unit of a fundamental quantity. Derived unit. This is the unit of derived quantity. Fundamental unit. There are only 7 fundamental units. Derived unit. It is formed in many types using 7 fundamental units. C number. Fundamental quantity and derived quantity. Fundamental quantity. This quantity is independent. Derived quantity. This quantity depends on fundamental quantity. Fundamental quantity. There are 7 fundamental quantity, and derived quantity. There are 13 derived quantity. Now I would like to answer the following. Many. Okay, sir. Now I would like to discuss about answer the following question in short. A number. What is scientific learning? The process of testing and analyzing in science is called scientific learning. Number B. What are control variables? Answer. The variable that researcher tries to hold constant throughout the experiment is control variable. Number C. Define variable. Any quantity that variable varies during the span of an experiment is control variable. Sorry. Number D. What are dependent and independent variables in research? Research topic. Plant grows faster in warmer temperature. Independent variable. Temperature. Dependent variable. Plant growth. Research topic. People walk speedily with sports shoes. Independent variable. Wearing sports shoes. Dependent variable. Speed walking. E number. What is unit? Answer: the reference standard with which we carry out the measurement of any physical quantity of same kind is unit. F number: define fundamental and derived unit. Fundamental unit: the unit of fundamental quantity which is independent of each other is called fundamental unit, and derived unit: the unit of derived quantity which depend on fundamental unit is called derived unit. G number: how many dependence variable do you want in an experiment? Answer: I want more than 2 dependent variable in an experiment. H number: define unit and write its types. Answer: the reference standard with which we carry out the measurement of any physical quantity of same kind is called unit. Its types are fundamental unit and derived unit. I number: name the fundamental unit used in physics.
Namaskar and good evening to you all. It's me Prashita Shrestha, and today I am here to discuss about chapter 1 of long question answer, give reasons and diagrammatic question. Long question answer. A number: what are variables in research? Explain with example. The variables in research are independent variable, the variable which can be manipulated by researchers is known as independent variable. Dependent variable, the variable which measured by a researcher is known as dependent variable. And control variable, the variable that researchers try to hold constant is known as control variable. For example, research investigating the relation HIP between distance velocity of an object. Independent variable, time. Dependent variable, distance, and control variable, velocity. Clarify different types of B number. Clarify different types of variables given an example of experiment. The different type of variables are independent variable. The variable which is the factor or condition that you can change in an experiment is independent variable. For example, temperature and time, etc. Dependent variable, the variable which factor or condition that you measure or observe in an experiment is called dependent variable. For example, distance, plant growth, etc. Control variable, the variable that researchers try to hold constant throughout the experiments is called control variable. C number. What is the dimension of a physical quantity? Give an example. The power to which the fundamental unit must be raised to obtain 1 unit of that quantity is called dimension of a physical quantity. Example 1. Find the dimension of density. Example 2. Find the dimension of V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. D number. What is the unit of work? Explain whether the unit of work is a fundamental or derived unit. The unit of work is joule. J. The unit of work is derived unit because the unit of work depend on fundamental unit kg, meter, and second. E number. Define fundamental unit with an example. Why is the unit of force called a derived unit? The unit which are independent of each other is called fundamental unit. For example, meter, kilogram, etc. The unit of force is called a derived unit because its unit depend on fundamental unit kg and second. What is derived unit? Give its 2 example. The unit which depend on fundamental unit is derived unit. For example, ohm, volt, etc. G number. Define physical quantity. A quantity which can be measured in is called physical quantity. Unit. The reference standard with which we carry out the measurement of any physical quantity of the same kind is called unit. Measurement. The process of associating number with physical quantities and phenomena is called measurement. H number. Write the SI unit of physical quantities. Potential difference is equal to volt, temperature is equal to Kelvin, and electrical resistance is equal to ohm. Point out the fundamental and derived unit from the unit. Fundamental unit Kelvin, mole, second. Derived unit joule, hertz, watt, pascal, newton. J number. Write the basic unit involved in the following derived unit. Joule, kilogram, meter, and second. Kg, m square, s minus square. Pascal, kilogram, meter and second. Kg, m minus 1, s minus 2 square. Hertz, cycle, second. Cycle per second minus 1. Newton, kilogram, meter and second. Kg, m, s minus 2. K number, find the dimensional formula of A is equals to V minus U by T equals to meter per second minus meter per second by S is equals to L T bracket power 1 minus 1 by T is equals to open bracket L T minus T2. L number. Raman wants to investigate which color of an object has the highest capacity to absorb heat. He took 4 tin cans and painted them with black, white, green and red colors respectively. He poured an equal amount of water into each can, closed the openings and placed them in sunlight for an hour. After that, he measured the temperature of the water in each can using a thermometer. Answer the following questions based on this experiment. First, write the independent and dependent variable. Independent variable is equals to heat. Dependent variable is equals to temperature. Which variable should be controlled by Raman? Explain. The variable which should be controlled by Raman are time, area of container, amount of water. Third, what is the hypothesis of the experiment? The hypothesis is effects of solar energy in water or test heat absorbing capacity of water in presence of different colors. Fourth number, how will Raman ensure that the temperature measurements are accurate? Raman ensured that the temperature are accurate by calculating the temperature with the help of thermometer and finding means. Fifth number, how might Raman extend this experiment to test other factors that affect the absorption of heat by an object? Raman extend this experiment to test other factors affecting the absorption are by taking in consideration the control variable. M number, why are independent and dependent variable important in scientific study? Independent and dependent variable important in scientific study because it helps to test cause and effect relationship. Can you include more than one independent and dependent variable in a scientific study? Yes, we can include more than one independent and dependent variable in scientific study. Now I would like to answer the give reason. A number, control variables are important in scientific learning. Controls variable are important in scientific learning because it helps to ensure that the experiment results are fair, unskewed and not caused by your experiment manipulation. Independent variable can be manipulated but not